In my district on Long Island, we've had a series of brutal murders. Just less than 2 weeks ago, we had 4 young people were slaughtered, their bodies were butchered, there were videos taken of it, sent to their families. It's horrific. And there was another series of these killings before that, carried out by MS-13.
That is Congressman Peter King of New York on the spread of MS-13, a gang made up mostly of illegals. It's gotten so bad that King's district at Suffolk County, New York, has asked the federal government for help. So just how bad is it, and what can the feds actually do? Let's talk to somebody familiar with the crisis. Former New York City Police Department Officer Dan Bongino joins us right now. He used to live in Suffolk County. He's down in Florida right now. Dan, let's start with, who are these guys in MS-13?
Yeah, Steve, these guys are the worst of the worst. I mean, if you had a scale of the worst gangs out there based on violence, these guys are #1. This is a gang primarily composed of Salvatruchan guerrillas, El Salvadorian, literally guerrilla fighters who've used murder strictly as a tool. There's almost no moral or ethical, firewall for these people at all when it comes to using violence. For them, it's just a tool to intimidate. They are the worst of the worst. And, really, shame on some other media outlets for not covering this. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that illegal immigration is the fuel of feeding this fire of gang activity in these areas.
Well, and when you historically think about gangs, you think of the Crips and the Bloods, and the way that it's presented in the mainstream media, it's just another one of those gangs. They never mention that all these people are in the country illegally.
Yeah, absolutely. Ironically, the initial purpose of this gang activity and the explosive growth in MS-13 gang activity was to, quote, protect the members of the illegal immigrant community who they felt were being preyed on by other gangs. But the only way to incorporate illegal immigrants into your gang is by getting a steady stream of illegal immigrants. An inconvenient fact for people in the media who want to brush that aside.
But for the county, Suffolk County, to ask the feds and say, hey, we are in a desperate situation. You got to help us. What could the feds possibly do to help that county in New York?
Yeah, Steve, I'm intimately familiar with this area. I lived out there forever. I have police friends out there to this day. There's 2 things they have to do. First, we need a border wall. Without a secure border, the border is just a suggestion. What are you going to do, put a stop sign there? You need a border wall. But #2, this is important, the feds have to start using RICO, these racketeer-induced corrupt organization statutes. They used it to take down organized crime in the 90s. They have been using it on gangs, but they have to use it more. They have to really expand the footprint, because when you get one member of the gang, you can take them all down for it. And for a crime, that is.
And the wall would stop them because they're from El Salvador. All right, Dan Bongino, we thank you very much for your perspective live from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Thank you, sir.